What's up, guys? Excuse me. A little bit different of a setting tonight because where I normally shoot is taken. So we're outside at the house today. How's everyone doing? See, I love that you guys have already got started in the comment section, starting to talk about tuning. Always a fun topic. What's up, Eli? Chris, Ethan, thanks for coming in. Mike, I hope you're still in here, brother. Sorry if I'm going to be a little more muffled tonight. I don't want to disturb all of my neighbors, but I thought this would be overall the best place to come to a live stream right now. And of course, without fail, I'm very orange today. First and foremost, before we get into tuning, guys, if you haven't, there is a link in the description for the new merch store. I've been working on this stuff a lot lately. So Teespring is basically where all my new stuff is going to come from. In the future, we're going to do discount specials and free shipping specials. It just lets me do a lot more with you guys, and definitely like Black Friday deals and all that stuff. So that's going to be pretty cool. Eli, I'm glad you enjoy it, brother. Eli, which shirt did you get? And from which site? I'm waiting on all my Teespring stuff I ordered to come yet. Guys, we're also at 15 people in here, and we only have 6 likes. So let's fix that. Let's get up to 15 likes in here. That's enough about merch. Down in the, like I said, down in the description, the Amazon stuff is still up. The Amazon stuff I'm going to keep a little cheaper. I think that'll be, it's just kind of for people that still want to support the channel, but don't want the green 6R shirt. That's my favorite one. But then the Teespring's going to let me do other stuff. So like I said, there'll be specials and discounts down the road. I'm just still working on figuring that out. I just know it has the ability. And I think a lot of times, I think that's going to be a live stream thing when I release that information. I think it, kind of gives some incentive for people to come hang out with us. Chris, thanks, man. So that's something I will probably be looking at starting in November. At live streams, doing discount codes and stuff for merch once I get that figured out. So, and it'll be something I talk about strictly on live streams for people. It won't be everything else with that. So anyway, now let's get into tuning. Tuning. I've been getting a lot of questions about 6-liter tuning lately. And Chris, I do really like the Making 6Os Great Again shirt. That one is probably my favorite shirt that I came up with. I mean, it's not super original of me. I want to say that. I'm well aware that I'm copying, everyone's making something great again. So well aware. Then the SOB shirt's pretty funny too. But anyway, on to tuning. So I get a lot of questions about tuning. I talk about tuning a lot to people. And one of the things I want to say with tuning, guys, is when you have an issue with your truck and you're tuned, you need to go back to stock to properly diagnose it, unless you know some of the workarounds for it. But the easiest way to diagnose is get back to stock, or have your tuner make you a custom tune just for diagnostic purposes. Tune-wise, Truck Source. Chris, I really like Truck Source Diesel. They have a good tune. I think they do a nice job of what I like about Truck Source Diesel is they have a nice balance of drivability for daily driving, and these bugs are all over the place. Maybe not my greatest idea. Anyway, they have a nice mix of great drivability with their transmission tuning and great power and okay smoke output. It's not terrible. Could be better, but I'm also running a race tune on the street. So, I mean, it's kind of, you got to kind of take the good with the bad. And I had never asked for a revision from them, but they had a great drivability from their from the first tune they sent in their transmission tuning. Whereas like Innovative Diesel is what I like to race with. Their Ultimate X tune is what I race with. I love that tune, but it's terrible to daily drive. It's not a fun tune to daily drive around with. So I don't always recommend Innovative Diesel unless you're talking about going fast. Then there's, who else have I tried? Windrunner Performance Engineering is actually my all-time favorite tuner. Now, he does not tune anymore, but I found his old partner, and he does tuning, so I'm actually trying to get and talk with him about some of the things about tuning. So when my 6 liters back, I might still be able to get my favorite tunes for daily driving and stuff. So anyway, I'm falling behind in the comment section. So guys, if you haven't already, smash that like button. Let me get caught up here in the comments. Ninja, how you doing, brother? So on a factory turbo with a tune, excuse me, with a factory turbo and a tune, it depends what you'll see. So if you're on an all-out race tune, I've seen factory turbos make like, excuse me, I'm going to use Innovative Diesel here again as an example. I've seen 33 on a stock turbo, a stock 03 turbo, and I will say 33 to 35, and it didn't like it for super long. It didn't tolerate that very well. But I also had a cam done at the same time. So and I had the ported intake manifold already. I did exhaust manifold at that time. There's a lot of upgrades at that same time. But I would say you typically shouldn't be pushing your turbo, a stock turbo, that far in the boost. I think that's too high for it. I think 30 is kind of the max of what you should be seeing from a factory turbo on a regular basis, especially if you're not loaded down. My toe tune with my Power Max turbo would only see 30 pulling a hill with my camper. So this is a common misconception, though. A lot of people attribute boost numbers to power numbers, and that's not a great way to do it, because what happens is when you go to a bigger turbo, best example, take a factory 6-liter turbo, take a Power Max, non-modified Power Max. The Power Max turbo is flowing the same amount of air at 20 psi of boost as a stock turbo is at 28 psi of boost. So when you go larger, what happens is you don't need that same amount of boost to equal the same amount of air being flowed through the engine. So if you went with like my 66 millimeter turbo, when I say I don't have enough fuel for it, and you only need enough boost to clean up your smoke. If your smoke clears up at like 28 and you're seeing 33 psi of boost, you're getting into something called parasitic loss, meaning that the valve train has to fight that added boost, that extra 3 pounds that you didn't need. It's got to fight that in order to overcome it. So you'd really want to be closer to that 30, like right where, excuse me, I think I said 28. So just enough to clean up your boost or your fuel, and then that's all the more boost you need. Anything over that is wasted power, because now you're fighting the valve train and everything in there. So I think I'm a little behind in the comments again. What tune are you running 20 with? Oh, okay, I see. While we're talking about boost, guys, and tuning, one thing to consider is a lot of tuners, they'll refer to it as spoofing their boost numbers. They do the same thing with the ICP PSI value, is they'll spoof it to get the truck to do certain things. So one thing to consider is you want to talk to your tuner. Like Innovative Diesel doesn't do that with their boost number, but I believe I'm pretty certain Gearhead does. I don't know about Truck Source Diesel, but it's something you want to reach out to your tuner, or just install a manual boost gauge, and that way you'll know all the time what it actually is. So just something to consider, because I see people talking about this 20 PSI with and stuff. But Rippin', what's up, brother? How you doing? Windrunner. Warren Diesel Injection is actually probably the first tuner I'd like to try when my 6 liters back. I've seen some pretty insane reviews from those guys. I would say right now, Truck Source Diesel and Warren, excuse me, are probably the two most aggressive tuners at this point in time, doing for 6 liters anyway. As far as overall quality, they're not just making big power, they're making good drivability tunes right now from all the reviews I've seen. So they're kind of Windrunner. I don't know why I keep saying Windrunner. Warren Diesel is definitely on the list for review when it's back. Let's see here. Jay, let me just ask this question. Are you saying, Jay Slice specifically, are you saying you're making 600 horsepower with a stock turbo? I'm going to say not without a lot of spray. Guys, another thing, we're up to 18 people in here. Let's keep it coming, but we're only at 11 likes. So let's fix that. Let's get a few more likes in here while we're getting into tuning here. Stock injector, 64mm turbo. Ninja, that is probably my favorite all-around turbo that anybody makes. I like that 63.5 to 64mm compressor wheel. Turbo Time USA uses my sponsor, guys. Shout out, shameless merch plug. Use the discount code affiliate link for them if you want 5% off. But definitely one of my favorite all-around turbos. I think it's hard to beat that turbo. Nathan, what's up, man? Nathan, how are you making out on getting that? Those of you guys that don't know, I camp at Three Valley. That's actually where I just came. That's part of why I moved my live stream. And one of my neighbors up there where my camper stays has a 6-liter, and we were talking about fixing it. So I got another subscriber out of it. Great flowing heads plus better intake manifold equals less pressure to get ripping. That's another great point. When you take as many restrictions out of it, granted, I know Jared from Kill Devil Diesel talks, and he talks way over my head for what I know for this, but he talks about for cylinder head porting, like the swirl that the air actually does as it comes through the port. I didn't appreciate the Joe Biden commercial. I do want to say I don't actually get to pick the commercials. So I do apologize about any political nonsense that comes up. But yeah, one of the reasons I feel my 6-liter ran so well and got good mileage and made good power is because I removed as many restrictions in there as I could. Exhaust manifolds were BD, they're bigger, they flow better. I did the BD-Y pipe. I did the intercooler pipes. Intake manifold was bigger. I wish I would have done ported heads like Rippin did on his build. Rippin has a really cool build. But removing as many restrictions and improving the design without necessarily increasing any strain on the system, like going to a bigger turbo will put more air in the truck. But it also means that there's more strain on the system. You need to flow more air to begin with and more fuel to get that sucker spinning. So just slapping a big turbo on, while it will increase power potential, it also can hurt your fuel economy because now your truck has to turn this big turbo. So that's why a lot of times a more conservative turbo will do a little bit better in that department. So Jay, about the cold air intake. So the cold air intake, this is like the most controversial 6-liter topic in the world. People get so butthurt about this. I have a video out on this actually as well, talking about air intakes in 6-liters. First and foremost, if you have a larger than factory intake or turbo, you need to look at upgrading your air intake. Your turbo will exceed the factory value. When it comes to filtration, the factory one filters the best, hands down. Nobody can debate that. If somebody wants to try to debate that, that's kind of dumb. The aftermarket intakes are nice. I think it's cool to kind of make your truck your own, but at the same time, you need to realize you need to maintain that filter too. So it only filters as well as it does when it's clean. If it's not clean, it'll pull sand into your engine. So really, aftermarket air intakes get a bad rap from people not maintaining them. So they're fine to do on your truck. Stay away from K&N because they don't filter enough. I know K&N's real big in like the gas world. But you're even seeing a lot of people switch to S&B filters. AFE makes really nice filters. Those are the two companies I recommend for filters on any truck, not just 6-liters, but any truck. And I will say this, though, with S&B, you need to leave that clear plastic lid off, their current one, because you will pull a filter minder if you have a larger than factory turbo. Oh, Ethan, that's cool. I didn't know that Gearhead would do that, not spoofing anything. I'm pretty certain they have to at least spoof the ICP pressure value, though, not voltage, unless they mixed it up. I guess they could mix that up. I know nothing about how to actually tune. I just know the end result. Guys, bear with me if I'm a little tired. I made a 5-hour drive home today. Let's see here. Jay, what are you saying you can get it, but you shouldn't? Is that referring to the 35 PSI of a stock turbo? Joe Smith, that's a good thing if your truck's not making black smoke. Oh, what did I do here? I lost my spot. 1 second, guys. I'm getting back there. Warren, diesel's awesome. I agree. Stock injectors won't make smoke most of the time without a little working. Stock injectors will roll coal. I'm anti-rolling coal. I don't know if anyone knows this. I'm not a big fan of it. It's fine if you're parked and you're revving your engine up for your buddies, but I'm not like a fan of blacking out intersections and crap. I think that's kind of dumb. And it's just wasted fuel economy and power that I'd rather put that to the wheels and not out my tailpipe. But every now and then I do it. I can't lie. I think it's fun at the track when like it's kind of like I'm racing. It's not really a big deal there. Just got a Fickum repair. Atlas 40, good pick. I pushed 29.5 of Boost KC Stage 2 stock injectors innovative diesel. I would say that sounds like a perfect number there, Daryl. The KC stage, you shouldn't need more. You're not going to need more than that with stock injectors to clean them up and make that truck run good. Is the KC stage 2 probably capable of more? Yeah. I don't know exactly how much more, but it's definitely more. It definitely is more capable of higher numbers. But if you don't need it, again, you're just making the system work against itself even more so. I think that sounds good. Eli, what message did you retract? See, this is why I need to get faster in my comment section. Let's see here. Split wire on the ICP harness. Just got done fixing it. Gonna fire it up. Oh, awesome, dude. I hope that fixes it. I will say if that whole pigtail needs switched out, Nathan, Ford actually has really nice pigtails. They come with these like really sturdy metal, I can't even think, crimpers, and really nice heat sleeves, shrink wrap. Sorry, like I said, guys, I'm a little tired. But they are really nice. So when I need to replace any pigtail on my truck, I always get the Ford stuff because it is really nice what they have. I'm sure you can find it separately, but just in case, if you need to do the whole thing, check it out. But dude, definitely message me. Let me know if that fixes it, brother. I'm just looking at getting a 6.0 coming from the 2nd gen Cummins. His head gasket's really as prone to failure as I've been hearing from our people. Tyler, man, well, welcome to the channel. I don't know if I've ever gotten to talk to you before, brother. So welcome, and I hope you enjoy. I went about 180,000 miles on my 6-liter before I needed to do head studs, but mine was from a cracked cylinder head. So I've been meaning to do a video on this. I've been slacking. I do need to do a video on why 6-liters have this reputation for popping head gaskets. It's more related to lack of maintenance and monitoring the 6-liter. So making sure your oil cooler is healthy, making sure that your EGR cooler is not leaking coolant and hydrolocking your engine or pushing coolant into your cylinders, stuff like that caused it, because water obviously doesn't compress, and that was popping head gaskets. Are they more prone to it? Yes. Is it to the magnitude that people have said? No. Not even close to how people act about it. Will it probably happen in the time you own it? Yeah, good chance. But you figure you're coming from a 2nd gen Cummins those things destroy transmissions left and right. I mean, they all have in those years, they all kind of have their issue. Ford's transmission, super stout. Dodge transmission, not so much. Duramax transmission, not so much. So yeah, is it an issue? It is an issue, but if you learn what you need to, it's not nearly the issue a lot of people have made it out to be. Joe, I believe you can. I don't see why not. The BD throttle sensitivity booster works differently than the Fickum tune would. And again, if you ended up with a setup that was too much, you could always just use the economy setting that will actually pull your throttle back 25%, or you can turn it off, or you can turn it up when you want to race. So yeah, no, I really have been enjoying the BD throttle sensitivity booster. They should call it something else since it does more than just boost your throttle. So yeah, I think I'll probably do that one day in my 6-liter. Where was I? Jay Slice, good advice, man. We did talk about that up at camp this weekend, and hopefully that's it, because he's had a heck of a time, and hopefully that can get him back on the road and not having to work on his truck all the time. That can be I've been there, and I know that can be super frustrating. So Ethan, my 6-liter is of course emissions friendly. It just has an ODOG S3R intake manifold and BDY pipe prior to the one with the EGR provision in it. It's the old one. So it's friendly-ish with emissions, if you know what I mean. EGR delete with the J tube or BD EGR cooler at plug, the EGR valve port. Mike, so obviously we're talking about off-road use only here for the EPA agent that's probably watching my channel. So in your drag build, so my favorite setup's the ODOG S3R ported intake manifold. One, because it gives you actual performance. It is expensive. You don't have to worry about leaks. And so in my personal opinion, if you're going to delete it, that's the route I think you should go. I think it's the cleanest setup. Again, you don't have to worry about leaks and all that nonsense. And you get the added performance. That's one thing. A lot of people think deleting your EGR will give you added. We all respect the EPA agents in this chat. That's right, Mike. So a lot of people think delete, like, I don't know where this came from, and I believed it when I first got into 6-liters, but everyone thought if you deleted a 6-liter, you're going to like get better fuel economy and it was going to have more power. And that's just not the case. Honestly, EGR in the scheme of stuff does such minimal crap as far as power performance. Like, you could hook an entire EGR system up. You could probably make the EGR system larger on a 6-liter, and it wouldn't affect your performance that much, if at all. Because typically when you're commanding like full throttle, when you're commanding full load, excuse me, the EGR valve is shut. It's not changing anything. So it's really just when it's like at warming up, it opens up to superheat your truck, so to speak, so it warms up faster. I could tell the difference when I before I put the EGR system back on my 6-liter, because again, I learned the error of my ways. I could tell the difference when I deleted my 6L. It definitely warmed up slower. My 6.7, that's 100% emissions intact right now. That thing heats up ridiculously fast. But it's because they have a big butterfly valve in there that shuts off your cold air coming in, and there's a lot of EGR on the 6.7, so your truck heats up really quick. Which, I'm not going to lie, in Pennsylvania winters, I'm a pretty big fan of. Not saying it's going to stay, I'm just saying I'm a fan of it. So if you're going to delete one, I think you go S3R intake manifold. If you can't afford it, I would save up for it, because you will actually get performance with it. If you're going to keep your EGR, I would get a good EGR. I'd get like a bulletproof diesel one. I know there's a few other ones out there. I'm not as familiar with them, but I would just make sure it's a quality unit, because again, it has such minimal effect on your overall performance and fuel economy, because it does it really isn't as bad as it was made out to be. So just bear that in mind when you're doing it. Those are my two options when talking about addressing the EGR thing. Plug her up in here, good. I'm going to say best comment of the night is we all respect EPA agents in this chat. Oh, weld plugs in your old cooler. I don't have inspection. Lucky me. Yeah, Pennsylvania, you don't. If you have a diesel vehicle, you do not need to pass inspection. It's amazing. I will say this: I'm hearing more and more, kind of across the country. This platform gives me the opportunity to talk to a lot of people, and a lot of people reach out and talk to me. And I am hearing more and more across the country that places are cracking down on emissions stuff. So I will say this: anyone deleting and is thinking about bending the rules and driving on road with that, I don't know that I'd throw my stuff away if I was you. Just bear that in mind. I'm going to say this has been incredibly productive first half hour of the chat. We're up to 25 people in here, but we're only at 21 likes. So let's fix that, guys. Not up here in Canada. No, Canada, a lot of the delete tunes on trucks actually come from Canada. So, yeah, no, you guys are awesome. Nick, I don't know if I have a full 3 hours in me tonight, brother. Let's see here. Ronnie, best custom tunes, man. So we were talking about this a little earlier. Best custom tunes is kind of hard to define. So I'm going to give some good ones and some ones I've actually tried. Windrunner Performance was my #1 favorite for drivability. It wasn't my fastest tune, but it had great drivability. It was still fun to drive, and I got really good fuel economy with it if I was acting like an adult when I drive, which I try not to do too much of. But then, oh, my dog. Oh, sorry, I thought I saw my dog in the shadow here, but it's just my arm moving. Anyway, Windrunner Performance was good, but I am in contact with someone that used to tune with him, or work with him at least, that does some tuning. So I'm trying to see if maybe there isn't a new person I can recommend in the near future. Power Hungry Performance, I've always had excellent experience with their tunes on my 6-liter. Truck Source Diesel is one of my favorite tunes as well. Excuse me, for great drivability, and everything worked round one. I didn't have to get revisions or anything. Innovative Diesel, I like Innovative Diesel. They have great, in my experience, they've had great customer service. My one thing with Innovative Diesel is I hate daily driving their tunes. I love their tunes at the track. They shift perfectly. They don't skip a beat. But daily driving, because of how they're set up for the track and stuff and the pressures they use, it makes some of their driving characteristics not super favorable for street use. So just kind of bear that in mind. They're good tunes. I like them. And again, super professional guys. I've never had an issue with contacting them or anything like that. Even emailing back on Sundays, and they didn't know who I was. It's not like they're like, oh, I mean, not that my channel is that big, but it's not like they're like, oh, 60 Bros is talking to us. No, they couldn't care less. They just have great customer service. Tunes I'm looking at trying. Warren Diesel Injection is one of the tuners that's having incredible reviews right now, and people are loving. So they're one of the people I want to try. Gearhead's up there. Now, I did just have one of the subscribers say they have had issues with some of their professionalism at Gearhead. I don't have any personal experience with them. They're just someone I plan to try in the near future. Quick Tricks is another company that I'd like to give out a shout or a try to as well. I'm kind of drawing a blank. I have like a bunch of others that I was looking at. Warren Diesel is definitely out there. I also want to mess with Fickum Tuning. I'd like to try Power Hungry Performance in the near future as well. Again, I haven't tried them. Guys, by the way, I think we just hit a record. We had 31 people in here for a second. I think that's a new record on the live stream, so that's pretty awesome. But we are still only at 24 likes, so somebody fixed that, and now we're under 30 again. Shucks. But we're still only at 24 likes. We got 29 people in here, so let's fix that, guys, and let me find where I was. 3 hours. He tries not to drive like an adult. True Ford owner. This is very true. I try not to take myself too seriously either. Serious question. Nose down, sometimes won't start on a hill, replaced ICP, straight stock 0460. So Brad, that's kind of weird. That's kind of a weird scenario for your truck not to start. So the first thing you want to look at is if you don't have a way to diagnose, to read like fault codes and stuff, you need to get one of them. I did a video, first things to do to your 6.0, and I kind of talk a little more in depth about that. I would check that video out after the live stream. Don't leave the live stream, guys. We're having fun. But I want to say I'd be checking oil level first, and I'd be considering I would check fuel pressure as well in there to see if that's it, because those are kind of the only things that should really change, like how steep of a hill are we talking. I can't say. The only time I've ever noticed I had an issue with that is when I had low fuel. So hopefully that helps get you kind of on the right track. But that's where I would most likely be looking at. Your oil shouldn't be an issue because it should, even with an extreme angle, it should still be high enough that you're fine with a full oil pan. So I'd check oil level, and then I'd be looking at fuel pump or fuel for that, making sure you have a full tank, and I'd try to see if you can replicate the issue. I keep it at 65 for fuel economy. That sounds terrible. That doesn't sound like fun driving there, Ninja. I am kidding, guys. I mean, I do, like, around town, I do have fun, but on the highway, I do try to be relatively mature, though there was a time I was really cruising up to New York one day. There for a split second, guys, we actually hit 32. That's a second record. That's 3 records, 30, 31, and 32 viewers at one time. That's a new high on one night. I'm not sure why we're not fixing the like problem issue at only 26 guys, though. Let's see here. I got behind again. Ronnie, so use the truck for towing daily. I have gearhead tunes now. So I will say for towing, I would take a good look at Truck Source Diesel. I'd take a good look at Power Hungry Performance. I can't even express how much I miss Windrunner Performance tuning, because that was my go-to tuner for towing. I got pretty good fuel economy out of it. I had amazing performance. The truck just did what it was supposed to do. So I am hopeful this guy that apparently worked with him. I have confirmed he actually did work with him. I'm hoping that I can make something happen with that. But Nick, it would be cool if PHP or Power Hungry Performance would send me a Ficum tuner, because I do plan to really mess with that in the future. I keep having new injectors going out that the shop is replacing as well. Oh, Brad, you definitely have low fuel pressure, brother. That's a given. You have low fuel pressure. You probably need a fuel pump. You definitely want to make sure your injectors or fuel filters are cleaned, but that's a tell sign that you have fuel pressure issues. In that video I talked about it, I go over this, but you need 45 PSI of fuel pressure minimum to keep your injectors healthy. And preferably you're at like 50 on the low end, but 45 is still safe. Just if I was down at 45 on stock injectors, I'd be looking at something. You can do the 6.7 fuel pump mod. I know that's something I've even considered if we get to Josh's truck, maybe doing a 6.7 fuel pump mod on his when I switch to. I'll probably do AirDog on the 6.7 because I already have done fast system on my 6.0. Just want to try something different for a review, see if there really is a difference in quality or issues. But that's probably what I'll do. And then I thought about maybe taking the old pump and trying to slap it on Josh's truck if I can get him to agree, because it is his truck. It's not mine. It's not mine to be doing stuff to. Let's see here. The Banks diff cover. The Banks diff cover is probably the nicest, most thought out diff cover in the world. Here's my issue with them. I think I'm swallowing bugs out here. My issue with Banks and his diff cover are that in the process, he has to insult everybody en route to saying, I have the best diff cover. Why not just say, we make the best diff cover, here's why, without insulting every brand. Magtech, for instance. Magtech's been making diff covers for how long? Everybody uses Magtech diff covers. I know AFE has some sharp looking stuff. BD Diesel has one. I actually don't like the BD Diesel diff cover. I think it kind of is ugly. I love BD products otherwise, but their diff cover I'm never going to use. Magtech's probably what'll go on the 6.7. And actually, there's like a cheap one from Ford Performance that has like a cast aluminum with fins on the outside. It looks cool. That's going to go on my white truck when I get it back because I need to service those diffs on that thing. This truck needs its diff service too. We're going to be getting to that soon. So the Banks diff cover is cool, and I do think it's probably the best. I kind of think it's ugly, though, with that giant Banks. Like, can he just put his name small? That's one of the things I like about Magtech. We all know the look. It's a cool look. But Magtech has their name in like a 1 inch by 3 inch long little blurb, and it looks really clean and out of the way. And you wouldn't know. Like, you just know the look, that iconic look of it. That's one of the reasons I don't like AFE's diff cover either, is it kind of has this big thing. Although I like there's a little more. But I do think the Banks is probably the overall nicest cover. It's just I will not be buying that. Wow, am I falling behind? I need to. All right, I'm going to get caught up here. All right, is the KC stage 2 too large to run? Chris, you definitely don't need a stage 2 on stock injectors. It's a good turbo. I think you'd love it. But definitely you don't need that big of a charger. That being said, I always recommend TurboTime USA's stage 2, which is 64 millimeters. So it's just 0.7 millimeters smaller than the KC stage 2. You can definitely run a stage 2, but I wouldn't go that large unless I was planning on doing injectors in the future. To at least like I would recommend like a 190/30 with that charger. You could come down to their stage 1.5 with 10 blade. You can upgrade to the 10 blade option, I believe, on that. And that would go pretty well with stock injectors, or would go well with like a 175 stock nozzle. I will say this, check out TurboTime USA /6obros, or just use the coupon code. I'll type it in down here. 6obros. This is also in the description, guys, for 5% off if you want to check them out. If you're set on KC, though, let me tell you, you'll have a great charger and you'll love it. I just always recommend my sponsor and have people check it out. That is an affiliate link for me, but the KC charger you'll be super happy with. They have good stuff. I don't want you to think that I'm talking bad about KC, because I do believe they have an excellent product. Not liking just because I'm a 7.3 guy. We have 7.3s on the channel. I think you should like anyway, because my dad has a 7.3. One of the few times my old man's actually talked on the channel was me making a video at his house in front of his 7.3, calling it Project Slow and Steady. And he didn't like that so much. I thought it was hilarious, but no, we have 7.3 love here. I actually was thinking about doing something with his truck soon. Just got to find the time. Hey, there's another Jared in here. Look at that. Good name. Big fan of that name. Hearing stuff, wondering what my dog's doing in the background. Let's see here. I think I'm almost caught up. Joshua, the tunes from Nate at Windrunner, like White Lightning or something like that, or I can't remember. He had pretty cool names, to be honest. And then he changed them to just like more standardish names that everybody uses, like Street and Race, or Studded Race, Non-Studded Race, Tow. He definitely had some cool names. He just did a great job with tuning. I definitely miss Windrunner. I hope this other guy does similar quality to Windrunner, because he really was, in my opinion, one of the best tuners out there. Michael, I love fast. The only reason I probably won't do fast on my 6.7 is because I did fast on my 6.0. So I think I want to try AirDog on this, just so I can actually compare. I know they're different platforms, but I really want to be able to compare the two for you guys. I love my fast pump. I have nothing bad to say about it. I think there's guys out there that have had bad experiences with both, and there's guys that have had great experiences with both. So I think the one being vastly better than the other, I think is kind of crap. So we'll see. If there's a sale or something and the fast is like significantly cheaper, which I doubt will happen, I would definitely go fast at that point because I already know it. But at this point, I'm currently kind of thinking I'm going to go with an air dog. Let's see here. Is there a standalone ECU for our trucks like Holley EFI? Mongoose, I don't believe there is. At least I'm not aware of it at this time. I'm not saying someone isn't working on it. I just don't think there's a reason to really do it because of some of the monitoring solutions out there. Holley, I know, I just learned this the other day, owns Edge. So, yeah, I don't think there is anything out there for 6 liters. It's probably because it's so easy to tune them with stuff that's currently out there. I don't think it's a big deal. It's Quick too. How you doing, brother? Man, I am still so far behind. So far behind. All right, guys, I'm really working on getting caught up here. Doom, what's up, brother? Man, I can't believe how far behind I am in this. All right. Well, air dog, change your spring, standalone. So I got a dude down here that has a 2003 OM turbo that fit a late 05. They want 400 and it's new. Should I say no? An 03 turbo, if it's new, will fit the 05. You just won't use the rear bolt. 2 bolts, honestly, is fine to hold it down. I mean, I do like where your head's at. Should you go get a stage 2? And yes, you should get a stage 2. But no, all kidding aside, Jay, I can't remember your setup, brother. If you need a turbo and you're in a pinch, that one will fit fine. Just 2 bolts will screw in. A lot of people build, like I know KC builds a lot of their turbos from that use the 10 blade from just an 03 turbo core. Turbo Time USA does the same thing. So a lot of times you're getting 03 turbos anyway. Turbo Time USA does ship a little L bracket on, so if you want to use that rear bolt on the later styles, but 03 will fit on any year, you just won't use the rear bolt. You can't go backwards, though. If you have an 03 pedestal, you can't put an 05 turbo on them. But if you want to get a stage 2, Turbo Time USA, and you know the code, brother. The Ford fin covers was stock on some 6. Yeah, those fin covers look awesome, dude. I'd definitely putting that on the 6 liter. Tyler, I think we kind of touched on the fast and air dog thing. Doom, I'm going to be doing MagTech diff covers on the 6.7. Stupid bugs. But I'll probably just do the Ford Finned one on my 6.0. Turbos are turbos all year. I talked about that there. Sorry, guys, I'm going to get caught up so I'm not missing so much stuff. Track bar, ball joint, adjustable track bar, the Ford one on. Jay, I just did the track bar. I don't know if you saw that video. I just replaced that. I am going to do one of me actually replacing, taking the track bar off and changing the track bar ball joint when I can get use of a lift so I can show it better. Mongoose Holder Diesel has excellent reputation for their injectors. So you're good to go there. What turbo injectors upgrade recommend if I tow like? So Ethan, since you're towing, that's a lot of weight. First off, so since you're towing that much, my injector recommendation would be a 175 stock nozzle injector. And you shouldn't go bigger than, we'll use Turbo Time as their example here. Their stage 2 64 millimeter turbo. And you should take a good look at their 61 millimeter turbo, to be honest. And honestly, at their 61 millimeter turbo, you could really stay with stock injectors or go up to like a 155 stock nozzle. and that combo would do really well for you. If you wanted it to be a little more on the top end, a 64 millimeter turbo will still pull fast enough with that injector setup. I would probably consider some Fickum tuning in that overall build. And I would definitely recommend towing that heavy if you're talking about, you'll like the next, I'll get more in depth in this topic on the next installment of the tow build sheet for 6 liters that I'm going to be doing. I hope did you guys like the first one I did, the stage 1 tow build? The stage 2, we're going to kind of talk turbos and injectors a little more. But either like a 155 stock nozzle with TurboTime USA 61 millimeter turbo, or a 175 stock nozzle with a 64 millimeter. You could go up to a 30% nozzle, but I will say when 30% nozzles, I prefer at least a 190 injector. I think 175s is too small, and my preference in that area is a 205/30. So. Again, that's kind of something I'm going to really get in very in-depth here. If we get caught up in the comments, ask that question again and we can get more into that. Sway bar on my 15 and 06. The 15 was much beefier. I have heard that. I've heard guys say the sway bar on a 2-wheel drive 15-year truck is actually significantly beefier than oh crap. Than the 4x4 one. Down the road, like I'm going to replace the sway bar end links soon and the bushings. I am probably down the road going to get like I think Carly. I think Carly's suspension has like a crazy sway bar I'll probably get for the truck. I definitely want to do some powder coated suspension parts on the 15, which sounds kind of dumb because I've just gone through the entire suspension, but down the road, I think that's what I'm going to do. I have a question for you. Is there a good aftermarket oil pump for the 6.0? So I run a CNC Fab Stage 1 pump. That's been a great pump for me. It does have a Stage 2. The other pumps are the Adrenaline series from Diesel site that I've heard relatively good things about, but I have heard some people complaining about them. I've had 0 issues with my CNC Fab one. I would recommend going that route for your high pressure oil pump. Doom, what year's your truck? Because those were only early pumps. If you wanted a late pump, I think it's River City Diesel is the only one offering an upgraded pump. But the later style pumps, don't typically fail. So you'd really be looking at like stroker pumps, which River City has, I think, 2 stages of thumper pumps that'll put more out. Nice response about the 7. No problem, man. I can't say your name because YouTube will get me in trouble for that, but yourself. We'll refer to you as yourself. No problem, man. A bunch of yourself. 6. Oh, Brad, no problem. I'm sure I probably missed you by now, but no problem, man. Thanks for tuning in. Holy crap, I am really far behind. I need to start moving them for track farm. Which lift, does that make a difference? How hard is it to change out the track bar ball joint? Jay, I will let you know about that track bar ball joint in the near future. There are heavier duty track bars. Is it PMF has a cool one that I'd probably consider for a lifted. I'd have to really look at lifted applications first before I could really. White Noise and White Rain, that's what it was for them. 6.0 Pros and Guns and Gadgets Best Jareds on YouTube. I like it. Heck yeah, man. I don't know if any of you guys in here have been around since I started. I used to do gun videos, but YouTube really cracked down, and I took them down because I was worried something would happen to the channel. But I have thought about starting a separate channel for gun stuff. I'm so busy that I just can't at this time. But in the future, I'd like to. That's a hobby of mine. I'd like to get into that. What are your thoughts on deprogramming and reprogramming so a fresh install on truck has not learned? Joe, I'm not 100% sure what you mean. Are you saying to like return it to stock and then reprogram it with the same tune that was in it? Best affordable shocks. My truck rides like a go-kart, also needs shocks. So I just put Bilsteins on my truck and I like them. There's a video with links to Bilstein stuff on Amazon. Excuse me. That has definitely helped. That being said, they're about 100 to 115 more than you can get rough country shocks for. And I will say, in my experience, rough country shocks have been pretty good. I think you can safely get them. Are they as good as the Bilsteins? No, but overall, they are a good shock and should help with some of that, especially if your shocks are out. If they're worn out, you'd be surprised what a fresh set of shocks will do. So I would probably say if you're on a budget, I think they're about $50 a shock. So you're still spending some money, but look for specials or deals. I think that's like my go-to shock for being affordable. Let's see here. You get what you wanted, a bigger audience. Yeah, no, this has been an awesome live stream for the audience there, Rippin. This has been my biggest live stream ever so far as people and consecutive views, and we're keeping interest up there. We've been around 30 for a lot of the last like 25, 30 minutes. So that's really cool. I'm very excited about this. Yeah, Bilsteins are definitely great shocks. Like I said, if you're on a bit of a budget, I think rough countries are good. I do think the Bilsteins are better, and if you can afford it, I recommend it. Just be getting lifetime shocks at AutoZone or something. Do not get AutoZone shocks. I will say I ran Monroe Reflex. That used to be my favorite shock for a long time, and they were pretty good. They're definitely not as they were not as beefy as the rough country shocks, and they definitely weren't. They didn't do as well, but overall they were a good shock. My thing is, I think they're the same price as the rough country. You might be able to. One thing you can look at with AutoZone is go online, do pick up in store, and you can do the discount codes. So if you can use their discount codes and still go pick it up in store and have it that day, that's one thing to consider. That might make it a little bit cheaper than the other ones. Nick, from what I hear, the Dorman diff covers are actually half decent. I don't like Dorman. I do not like Dorman for many things, but I will say the diff covers are pretty decent. Josh put a Dorman Fickum board. Hey, look at that. I'm not orange. I'm back to orange. Josh put a Dorman Fickum power supply in his truck, and that's been going good for a couple years now. So their oil coolers are garbage. Do not use their oil coolers. Anyone that tells you otherwise is a goofball and doesn't know what they're talking about. Let's see here. The derail transpan. I don't really care for it. I don't think it's bad. I just don't really care for it. How far behind am I? I'm just consistently behind. Guys, I am working on getting through to your comments. So bear with me. I will say, if you want something read right away, super chat it and I'll do it right away. But I will get to your comment if you're patient. So I'm not saying you need to super chat for me to get to it. You just need to be patient with me. Yeah, the derail transpan, I don't know. I don't really care for it. I think it's kind of ugly, personally. I would just rather do a Magtech or I have a BD on my 6.0. That's a nice transpan, super good quality, just like Magtech. There's so many good ones out there. And I really just don't think the derail is that big of a deal. I think it's more important to keep fresh fluid in there that's good and is going to do its job. Get a high flow filter, like the 6.4 in there. And if you're having cooling issues with it, I'd recommend upgrading your transmission cooler at the front of the truck as opposed to that. I just don't think it's going to be that big of a difference. I have heard people say it makes a difference. I just don't think it's that big of one. Yeah, Ethan, that setup 155s. Make sure to stick to a stock nozzle. You do not need a 30% nozzle on a 155. A stock nozzle will empty that entirely, and it'll run better and smoother and cleaner and cooler as well. And the 61 millimeter charger would be perfect for that setup. You would probably really, really like that setup. Local Ford dealers and they're no help. Do you know what kind of engine wire harness 2006 60 uses? They should. The Ford dealers should just be able to look the part up, and you should be good to go. I don't have that to me. As far as that, there's independent harnesses out there if you got into like race stuff, like Warren Diesel sells that. But yeah, they should just be able to look it up. I'm not sure. I don't know if there's any of the Ford techs that follow in here, or there's one guy's a Ford parts person. Is it Mike? I can't remember who my Ford parts guy is, but he might be of better help than me. I have an 05 Excursion, but the pump is the 03. That's an odd setup in an Excursion. An 05 Excursion with an 03 pump. Doom, do you have the wavy rails load, like the later style oil rails? Super clean black Excursion. Oh, that would be good. I want to do an Excursion one day. I was here before Mike. I was here before your videos. That sound quality. Yeah, Mike, you're an OG, brother. You've been around for a good while. Yeah, no, my sound quality once upon a time was horrendous. And then Josh and I filming videos together, and we didn't have great communication. So he's showing something, and I'm messing with the camera. And it was awful. It was so bad. But we've grown. We've grown a lot since then. Who else here remembers, like, anyone else here for, like, the gun reviews once upon a time I used to do? A little. Yeah, that's funny. Her future bride. Oh, did I lost my place again? There we go. All right. Drag the Yukon to the scrapper. OG, yes, because Rancho shocks are not nice shocks. Although I have heard the 9000 series are actually pretty good. I just don't want to mess with this adjustable nonsense. Your logic side blew after a Dorman Fick on power supply. I haven't heard of that yet. That sucks. Doom, I think it's because everyone just acts like the 6.4 didn't exist. I think that's what everybody does. Is they just pretend it's not a thing at all. I'm almost caught up. So Robert, I was just talking. I found so I have not been able to find Nate. Nate's who I was really searching for. But I found a partner of his when he was doing all that, and I'm loosely talking to him, trying to see if we can work on some tuning stuff. So hopefully in the near future, I have an update on that. Once set up, I'm rocking the Fox 2.0. I'd like to try Foxes at some point. They seem like a cool shock. Someone else is running Icons. They like them. And obviously Kings are super expensive. Nelly, that's going to be a cool, probably slightly frustrating project for you, but that'll be cool if you can get that done. I'd love to do that at some point in my truck. Hey, thanks, brother. JR, so super chat here. We're going to give that priority, guys. So we have an 04606-inch lift on 37s. Any front steering upgrades you recommend? Not too bad, just a little too much dead space in the wheel and little pull at high speeds. So, yeah, so 04. I'm trying to think, does anybody make... You might have a little rough time there. I need to look at some companies, PMF, if they have PMF suspension, if they offer anything, they have great stuff. Flight Fab is another big name in steering upgrades. I would definitely check that out. I will say what I've learned in messing with suspension in the last couple weeks, months really, is that the track bar is a big issue on any of these trucks. So the first thing I would do is make sure that you have the right length track bar and that it's all set up correctly. You could have a steering box issue. Those of your trucks, like mine, needs a new steering box, something bad. I have like 3 inches of play, in mine. I almost feel like I'm driving one of those old Jeeps that you could have like a full turn before your wheels actually did anything. So I would look, if I had to guess, you're probably at your steering gearbox, but make sure the bushings in your track bar are good and make sure that those bolts are super tight on there as well. That'll really help. But then you might need to look at a steering gearbox, in which case I would look at Blue Top or Redhead seem to be on at like the top of the game for that right now. So that's who I would check out. So, and thank you for the super chat, man. I appreciate it. Guys, that is how, when we have busier ones, that is how I'm going to address super chats. If you do one, I'm going to immediately jump to them in the order the super chat comes in. I will try to get back to everything. I don't want you guys to feel like you need to do that at all. I do appreciate the support, but just as a heads up, if you need it. Let's see here. Just bought an 05 Lariat, bulletproof, and I'm having injector issues. Tevin, can you tell me what kind of injector issues you're having specifically, and we'll help problem solve that, brother? Rancho 5000s are basically stock shocks, so I think they use their own Ford shock with a Rancho logo. OJ, there is something to that the Ford isn't technically a Rancho gas shock or something like that. So I have heard that numerous times. Ranchos, I don't know. I'm not a diehard fan of Ranchos. I don't think they're terrible shocks. I just don't think they're the best. But then again, I went with the budget rough country. So what's that tell you? Well, a transmission from an 08 through 10 6.4 fit in my Excursion. Mike, it's not worth the hassle. You can make it fit. You got to mess with flex plates and stuff. It's not worth your hassle, brother. Any news to when the fully delete exhaust and programming will be available for Little Finky? I haven't heard anything about deletes for the 2020. Robert, I hope I didn't miss you, brother. You have a good one. Enjoy your dinner. Diesel site water pump versus bulletproof. Diesel site for cost alone, but honestly, I would just do gates and call it a day. I wouldn't mess with the other thing. I don't know if Diesel site uses a gate. I'm not sold on the metal propeller either. Because if a bearing goes out in that, it's just gonna mess up your front cover. You're gonna need to replace it. Whereas a plastic one's probably not gonna do much damage. You'll probably be able to use it still. Had to word it weird. Only allowed certain amount of text. Oh yeah, no, you're good, JR, man. It's something like the super chats can be kind of goofy, and it's like based on. I've super chatted on other people's, and I forget what it was. I think like the more you spend, the more you can type. Don't hold me to that. I'm not saying spend more either. I hope that helped answer your question. I do think after checking that track bar and making sure your tie rod ends are nice and tight, you're probably looking at a gearbox that was super, super common in those years. Let's see here. I've been running right noise rain 5 years. Totally forgot who made that. Yeah, Josh, I had great luck with them, with Windrunner. I hope he comes back, or I hope at least this other guy is doing similar quality tunes to what he was. Besides the whining sound, what hurt anything? No, you should be fine. That kind of sucked. I would definitely look at replacing it. But you should be okay all in all. I don't know that it's great to have it on. You'll definitely lose some power and some miles per gallon with it because it's constantly on, meaning the engine has to constantly turn it at full tilt. So Tevin, if you're sitting at idle, is it blowing white smoke, Tevin? That's the first question. When you start it up, is it just blowing white smoke and doesn't clear up? It just continually blows a little bit of white smoke. I mean, I shouldn't say a little. It's blowing white smoke that's visible, or is it kind of more of a faint haze? Yes, every time. But overall, it idles relatively smooth. I would definitely I definitely get a code reader on there and find out which injector needs replaced. No, you should not sell your 6-liter and buy a Duramax. It's a terrible idea. Only if you want guys. That's funny. Well, Jake, I'm assuming, well, I don't know how to say the JVKE. We're going to go with Jake. Jake, the Duramax is actually my second favorite diesel brand. I really, really okay, good. Jake, I really dislike Cummins. I hate the sound of them. I think for some reason, Dodge, I feel, is continually behind the 8-ball on stuff. They just, I think my VGT solenoid is, let's talk about Shire. Mongoose, we'll get into that in a second. The sound and the owners of Cummins. Yeah. Seriously, I just think they're behind the 8-ball. I think Duramax sounds good. I think the Allison issues of the earlier years is pretty much resolved. I think it's a good setup overall. So, yeah, no, I honestly, the first, as this channel continues to grow and I plan for things in the future, if there's a point where I say I hate Honda guys, if there's a point where, at some point you guys will want to see something a little different, I would honestly try a Duramax before I would ever touch a Cummins. This is going to be a primarily Ford channel, but I could see me at one point doing a Chevy or a GMC just for something a little different. But I mean, I really want to do every year Ford. I can. And who knows where the channel will go in the future. It's really, I've only owned Fords before, so I don't, you know what I mean? It's kind of hard to switch brands, but Ninja, I agree with that. 6.0 sounds better than a Duramax, though I will say some Duramaxes sound pretty good. So VGT solenoid stuck. So this is what you need to do to check that. You need to get a monitor on that, and you need to bring up your VGT duty cycle. What you're looking for is when you're full throttle, you want to see that like, I don't know if you're tuned or not, whatever, but you should be like between like 60 and 80% at idle in gear. And then when you should get in it really good, and you should watch that start coming down like 60, 40, 30 something. If you're still staying high in that 60, 70, or even worse, 85, it means it's stuck. And that's kind of how you would tell. To actually tell if your VGT solenoid itself is going bad versus sticking VGT vanes, you actually need to install a sensor in there to make that happen. I wouldn't recommend necessarily doing that. I would do what I said. I don't think they typically go bad. I think KC Turbo might sell verified used VGT solenoids. If you were close to me, I don't know that you're in the Lancaster County, Pennsylvania area, but I actually have one I bought from him years ago that I ended up never installing because I just scrapped that project. I've never messed with it. Man, no love for Chevy in this. No Nissan. That stuff's nonsense. Because Murphy's Law. Got a mechanic coming. That's funny. I've never heard that about GMC. Got a mechanic coming. If y'all want a good tuner / scanner for your trucks, I would highly recommend Evolution CTS. So for 6 liters, I don't recommend Edge tuning. I recommend strictly SCT for it because you can tune transmission and ECM. Edge, I don't believe does that. I will say for monitoring, I think Edge is hands down the best monitoring solution. I use them in my trucks. Doom, where are you at, brother? Yeah, well, this year I actually moved to E-Town. Doom, you probably remember, you've been around a while, you probably remember the old house when I used to do the work out of the garage and stuff. Joe, do you have any custom tunes on your SCT? I think that's one of like the coolest things with SCT is if you don't like the tunes you have, you don't need to change anything else. Just, I mean, not that you want to spend $150 every time you want to change tunes, but you can literally get a tuner that drives entirely different versus getting a whole new tuner and dealing with that nonsense. Just what came with it. Yeah, I would return it to stock, get the information you need off there for your tuner, and just try a different tuner. The canned SCT tunes aren't terrible, but they're not great either. They're okay tunes. But Power Hungry Performance, Warren Diesel, Truck Source Diesel are all great ones that I would recommend trying, and you'll have good luck with them. Drag those Nissans and Tundras around with Ford power. Yeah, the Tundra, I want to say Tundra is easily the most offended truck owner out there, because you know, if you have a diesel and you actually use it to tow, and then you say to a Tundra guy, "Oh, it's a nice pickup, man." It's you know, they always want you to buy the same truck because they're proud of their purchase, and they should be. You know, they're not bad trucks. I don't care for them, but just because I don't like them doesn't mean they're not decent trucks or that they're not sharp looking. And you tell them, "Oh man, yeah, it doesn't do what I needed to do." They get all offended because you told them their Tundra couldn't tow your camper. It's ridiculous. 06, 08, 10, 13, 15, and I've made nice. You have really ran the gamma of Super Duties. Power Hungry is what Dad has on his 7.3. They really mess up transmission line pressure. Really, Power Hungry on 7.3s is kind of like one of the big guys. And then he developed that new tuner that everybody raves about. I've had good luck with Power Hungry on my 6-liter. How's far Valley's Forge from here? Oh, Mongoose, I think your VGT is probably good then, brother. That sounds pretty good. I don't think you have an issue there. I'm trying to look up how far Valley Forge is from me. Oh, that's only an hour. You're by King of Prussia area. I have friends out in Westchester. I know it's not quite the same thing, but kind of close. Oh, and there I see you say King of Prussia. Let's see here. Down the road, I plan to get the Hydra on my dad's truck. Jeremy, say it ain't so. Don't talk like that. Not a Toyota. I will say, I think the Nissan Cummins engine that kind of blurred the lines between half-ton and three-quarter ton. I mean, I think it kind of hit a market that didn't need to be there, but it was pretty cool at the same time what they did. I think they scrapped it now, though. I think they just put an updated 5.6 V8 in that now. Used to bang hard. Yeah, some of you guys are pretty close to me. You don't have time to work on this money pit. They are something. I'd buy a 3. You know, I was looking at a 3.0 the other day, not to actually purchase, but something that was kind of cool. Like, one thing I've done a lot of with the channel lately is think about future stuff and the direction the channel is going to go. And I got to tell you, I could see me one day buying a 3.0 150 to mess around with and then sell. Jake, I do know I have subscribers down in that area. And typically every year I head down to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. We skipped it this year with everything happening. It wasn't worth it for us to go down and maybe not have fun or not that we wouldn't have fun, but just not be our normal vacation. But next year we'll be down there again for 2 weeks. And I've always thought about one of the years going down there and trying to host some kind of get together somewhere for people down south. But I haven't hosted a get together for people where in the north either. So, but it is something I have contemplated doing. Rippin, I thought you already left, brother. I didn't know you were still in the area. When are you leaving? I'm in Florida, but I'm down. Yeah, dude, it would be cool. I really would love to. Oh, dude, I gotta look at my schedule and see when I can come. Let me pull up my calendar here. Crap. Yeah, dude, I thought you left already. Chris, I'm gonna have to call you. I might need to try to make something happen. My sister's moving this weekend. I gotta close the pool, but I gotta see if I can't make it down to see you, brother, before you head out. Grab a beer. Chris, do you have the little one with you, or is she already out there? Oh, man, my neck. I'm falling behind in the comments again, guys. They're both in Cali already. Well, dude, we're gonna work on something. Maybe this weekend I can, if I get all my crap done on Friday night and Saturday that I need to, maybe we can hook up this weekend, brother. If you're free, of course. I know you got stuff, or maybe we can meet like halfway and during the week. So yeah, I'll definitely hit you up, man. Man, all right, let me get caught up. Sorry, I got distracted. Rippin is someone that I met through this, and we've become good friends, and he's a super cool guy. He's got a YouTube channel too, but he's leaving the East Coast soon, so I thought he was already gone, so I'm glad maybe we can get together before he leaves. New to the diesel world, going SCTX4 off eBay, unmarried, not sure what that means. Good idea or not. So unmarried is good. It means it's not hooked up to a different, so it's not assigned to a truck, so you can use it. So hey, if you're getting a decent deal on it, yeah. Is there a big difference between a 4-inch and a 5-inch pipe off a 6.0? The biggest difference for the 6.0 with exhaust systems is definitely going to come in the downpipe. So the factory one is really restrictive. It's like 3 inches. And the exhaust video Josh and I did, like we actually cut it and look, like we show the difference. It's pretty small. So both of us are running a 4-inch downpipe. I will say I could see us switching his downpipe to a 3.5-inch, because for a tow build, that'll actually be a little better for him in that aspect. I think 4-inch sounds better. You get more of that crazy whistle. The 5-inch really sounds more like that, like a V8, has more of that rumble to it. Obviously, they both use straight pipe or muffler both, and they both can have similar characteristics. But 4-inch typically will give you more of that crazy whistle from the turbo. 5-inch, you lose some of that, but you pick up more of that rumble of a V8. OJU, I'm gonna run. Never mind. I should read the entire thing. What's FL2K? Is that the event Cletus puts on? Cletus McFarlane? I would love to go down with the white truck one year and enter in that burnout competition he does. I think that'd be super fun. But yeah, I think that'd be kind of cool when the white truck's back. Which I need to remember to bring my camera one of these days and go over to the shop and actually film a segment with the white truck so everyone can see it is still around. It's not gone. It's not going anywhere, guys. That's coming back to the channel. I do appreciate everyone sticking around through this time, because I know that's what a lot of you guys came here for, was the 6.0, and kind of without plan. Kind of without plan, I ended up going a different direction unintentionally. But you know, the 6 liters coming back, guys. I swear that we're going to do some cool stuff with the 6.7, though. We almost have all the suspension fixed, thank God. I am tired of making brake videos and suspension videos at the moment. Great timeshare. We're making it happen here. So a lot of people think the 5-inch, so I think 5-inch is overall louder, but you definitely lose some of the whistle. You'll still have the whistle, you just won't have it like that ear-piercing whistle that you typically get to the same degree. It is still out there, don't get me wrong, just not quite the same. What do we have going on here? One of my other friends I met on here, Preston, texted me when he should be in the live stream. I don't know where he got to. I'm trying to think. I got Josh an 8-inch or a 10-inch exhaust tip for his truck. I can't remember. We need to. What's my dog doing back there? We need to actually straighten some of his exhaust out a little bit, because it's not how we want it. But overall, it's a good kit. Don't get me wrong, but it's a little close to his tire for his liking. He's worried it'll be too hot. I told him he's being a baby, but he didn't appreciate that. Tip size does way more than I thought. So on the 6.7, what I want to do is I want to kind of run. The first thing I'm going to do is put the cheapest exhaust I can on, because I think it'd be funny to try and see. It gets rid of the Ford has a little goofy resonator there. Gets rid of that, and then I want to see if I can't hook up exhaust my own. Like I found, is it True Flow has a 4-inch in with dual 4-inch out pipe that I could put more 4-inch pipe on, and I want to do dual 6-inch tips out the same side. I think that would look cool. And nobody offers that. Everyone has dual 5-inch tips, but I really want dual 6-inch tips because I think that'd be cool. Ish. I don't know. Some people don't like it. I think it's super cool, but that's just me. Guys, and that reminds me, if you haven't, hit that subscribe button, of course, but also hit the like button. Let's get that like up there. So I guess we're talking about exhaust systems right now. I could technically fit a dual 8-inch tip. No, I really do like the 6-inch tip look. That's going to be what I do. That's my goal anyway. I might have to settle for less. So I did think about going to a muffler shop, but then I also kind of want to try to make my own, which could potentially be a terrible idea. I'm going to be honest. Could be a very bad idea, but I'm going to probably try anyway. I'd like to be able to make my own little, like I'm going to get the cheap kit because I think people are likely to look at that and probably want to know if it actually fits nice. And then I'm going to cut it, and then I'm going to try my little then I'm going to try my setup. And if that doesn't work or I don't like it, then I will probably I've looked at MBRP and I've looked at MagnaFlow for their DPF back exhausts. And one of them will get put on the truck if my little plan doesn't work out. So hopefully I don't waste too much money, but that's the goal. Doom, do you tow at all? Ninja, that'd be pretty cool. Actually, I will say I'm probably way too small for this to happen, but there are like bigger channels that exhaust companies have sent exhaust out that have like their logo in them. And I think it'd be kind of cool. Doom, if you don't tow it all, then I'd go 4-inch downpipe to 5-inch out from, it sounds like you want the 5-inch. I definitely do that. It'll be a good look. I think you'll like it. But I think it'd be cool if a company was willing to put like maybe this logo on each one, or like the 6 Obros in writing that I have on the Teespring website. You can see the downpipe from under the truck. Yeah, you can get to the downpipe from underneath. So when you crawl under, you see, I guess technically it's called the wide pipe. I don't know. Your downpipe literally is the pipe that comes off your turbo and just goes straight down. As soon as it starts to turn, no longer your downpipe. But yeah, no, I think it'd be cool if I could make my own exhaust down the road. If maybe somebody would be willing to put like laser engraved 6 Obros on the exhaust tips, that'd be pretty freaking cool. Have a 6 Obros series exhaust. I don't think that'll ever happen, but who knows? Maybe stranger things could have happened. Definitely. Here's one thing. I want some feedback. Let me put the link here. So that is the link to the new merch store I've been working on. What I want you guys to do is I want your feedback. What do you think of the actual designs? Do you actually like them? I am going to do a new shirt soon that just has 6 Obros on the front without anything on the back. And the decal that's on the white truck, we're going to do that on the back of a shirt soon as well, is coming. So just let me know what you guys think. I just want to know what everyone thinks. Am I onto something? Am I completely missing the 8 ball? I definitely put a lot of thought into some of these things. This was a Josh design. He did this with his girlfriend. So I can't take any credit for that. But the other stuff, I just want to know, am I on the right track, and what you guys think. So there is one with front and backs hats. I can make hats happen soon. So my question is, do you want 6 Obros written out like on the front of that shirt, or do you want to see this design on a hat? For that, Jake, I need to have somebody make that for me. I do want to do that down the road. I'd actually like to do have just 6 Obros on the front, and on the back with a big flexing bicep. I'd like to have one that on the back has the picture that sits across the banner of the top of the channel page. When you go to our channel page of Josh's and my truck, my white truck and his gray truck, I think that'd be pretty cool to have that picture basically on the back of the shirt. I don't know if Teespring does flex fit hats. Excuse me. Let me quick look it up here. I was looking at these the other day because this is not the first time hats came up in a conversation. Snapback, trucker hats, dad cap. It's not looking like they have. Now they're all looking like that's unfortunate. I'll have to look into the flex fit more. So I'm currently having an issue getting with these print on demand services. They're awesome because what they let me do is they let me get products to you guys, and you get them in a timely manner with quality control measures, and you don't have to worry about shipping delays or anything like that. Like, they take care of that part entirely. But the problem is I also then have to use multiple ones to get all the stuff I want. So like, I want to do decals. I can't really do decals through this site, at least not that I know of. I actually want to talk to somebody in like customer support through this to see what they say, see if I can't do it. Like, they have stickers, but they don't have it's just not like what I'm what I'm looking for from it. It's like a sticker. So that is something I'm working on for in the future. I would like to definitely be able to do that. We'll see if I can. If not, what it will come down to is like when I do. So my goal is hopefully I can hit, like I want to try to pick like 3 events next year, and I want to go to 3 events. Do a 6.0 Bros for Trump shirt. That's kind of funny. I have a Cricut printer. I love making my OJ. That's also, well, that's how all the original shirts. So like Mike probably remembers this because he's been around forever. That Josh and his girlfriend made all the original shirts. I think like 5 to 10 subscribers were sent shirts that Josh and his girlfriend did together, and we have a few of the original ones. These are just easier, truth be told. Speaking of shirts, I think I wanted to do something for 9/11, and I didn't do it, and I think it's, I might still do it, but I was kind of trying to think of something with the never forget, because I feel with everything going on in the world, OJ, that's kind of what I said. Is it was a lot of time that we couldn't commit to it, which is why it took so long for us to get to having merch. But I wanted to do something for 9/11, and I was thinking about making a shirt that on the back said, "Didn't forget and won't forget," and on the front, "Never forget." But I didn't do it, and I don't know how I feel about that little slogan I was thinking about. But those of you guys that have followed, I'm a pretty patriotic guy. I normally post stuff for 9/11. I didn't really post anything specific this year. Just I took a few days off with everything happening, and I went up to camp and kind of hung out. But I am thinking about doing that. This freaking bug on my computer. There's a couple bugs on my computer, which I guess is kind of be expected. But yeah, no, making your own shirts is super labor intensive, and it's kind of hard to do. And that's one thing I said to Josh is at that time I felt like the priority needed to be getting videos out to you guys. We kind of ignored other forms of social media, which now we've kind of re-geared focusing on. I've definitely put more time into YouTube in the last 2 months than I typically do. Tell them to bug off. I'll say this, the extra time into YouTube has definitely paid off because I've had more subscribers gained than ever before. I've had more views than ever. Last month, we did over 75,000 views in the month. That's more than ever before. The previous month, I think we did like just under 70,000 views. So it has definitely paid off, and I think it'll continue to, and I hope you guys seem to be enjoying it. Guys, we hit a record number of consecutive watchers on this today. We were at one point, we were like high 30s people in here at one time. That was cool. So that was really exciting for me for a 6.0 channel. The Cletus events, dude. Ethan, I really would love to go to a Cletus event. I'd love to, ideally, I don't know if you can register to do the burnout pad that he's making or how that all works. But in the future, ideally, I would like to tow the white truck down there strictly to compete in the burnout pad. I don't, if racing, sure, I love racing. It's fun. But the kind of places that go there to race, they're all crazy fast cars. And I have a fast truck, not a fast car. But we'll see. Didn't leave for pizza tonight. I almost ordered pizza before this, and I was like, crap. By the time it gets here, it's going to be too late, and I'm going to be on live stream, and I can't be eating at the same time. But no, I would love to take the white truck down and do a burnout, do the burnout box that he has, or pad. And I think I'd like to leave in like a 4-wheel drive burnout. I think that'd be pretty cool after tearing it up for a little bit. That's pretty cool. He's running a stage 3 Kill Devil. That's one of the things I'd love to do. Well, so here's here's potential plans for the truck. So my best case scenario is there's a cylinder head valve issue causing me to lose compression. That is my ideal scenario. Worst case is it's a piston or a ring that broke, in which case we have to worry about the cylinder wall. Watching me stuff my face on a live chat. Yeah. I mean, I eat pretty quick. I mean, we'd really only be talking about 3 minutes for me to get an entire meal down. The transmission shop with a 6K check for Jam. Jake, ain't that the truth? That is the funniest thing about Dodge guys. Oh, 6.0. Head gaskets. Relatively easy fix. 4 to 5 grand. Dodge guy spends a ton of money on a transmission that's going to continue to fail. 6.0 hot dog eating contest. Guys, I will say, ideally, at some point, I definitely want to host a get-together. I've actually talked with another channel previously. We never really pursued it further because of scheduling stuff. Truck Guy Joe has become a good friend of mine. He's the guy I race with. When I'm racing, he's the guy that's helping teach me how to not suck at racing. And there's a track by him that he said is pretty he's in Erie, Pennsylvania. Erie area, Pennsylvania. There's a track by him he goes to, and we've talked about. That is something I'll probably pursue when the white truck's back and I have a way to tow it there. I'd like to do like a day at a drag strip or something, and just have a bunch of people come out, and well, hopefully it's a bunch of people. I don't really know. Thoughts on air intake elbow? So I hate the factory air intake elbow. I see why the 6-liter has it that way, but there's definitely better options out there. I think the No Limit air cold side pipe and intake elbow is the best that you can have. I know some people like that new Sinister elbow. Sinister as a company has frustrated me in the past with how they've conducted themselves on certain things. And I think some of their prices are absolutely garbage for what you're getting. So that's kind of where I struggle with that. But No Limit has a pretty cool cold side pipe. SoCal Billet offers essentially the same pipe, but without the brake in it. Just you need one intercooler boot for the SoCal Billet one. Oh, that intercooler for $2 grand. There is not an intercooler worth $2,000. I'll say this. If Sinister Diesel wants to send me that intercooler, I will test the crap out of it. But I wouldn't pay a dime for it. Be strictly based on the price I saw them. And I got to tell you, I just don't see it. I'm not saying maybe they did think it out better. Maybe they did. But $500 for a CSF 6028, which is a monstrous intercooler. You get cast end tanks, and it's proven to work well. $2,000 for that. I mean, you figure, look at Bank's entire setup. I mean, at $2 grand, the least they could do is throw in their intercooler pipes. Would be the least they could do, with the intake elbow too. At that asking price, that's just astronomical. I'll second the high price and slow shipping. Yeah, Ninja, that's basically the plan. Would be to kind of be able to get a whole get together. It is something that maybe next year I'd like to look at. By the time next spring, summer rolls around, rough estimate, we should be in like the 12,000 subscriber range. Is provided everything stays in route like it is right now, I would expect to be around 12 to 13, maybe even 14,000 if we were to keep this pace. But we'll what do we got here? That's a good. Someone sent me a shirt idea. Sorry, guys. I'll be right back. But basically, I'd like to kind of just have a big get together, give people a chance to come hang out and meet me in person and all that stuff, and just have a good time, do some racing, eat a bunch of junk food is also a plan. Let's see here. Intercooler pipes and elbows are like sick. Yeah, and that's kind of what it is they're so expensive for nothing like super innovative. In that essentially you can get the same thing for $120 online. That probably is very, very similar to theirs. Their copywriting bill for the color blue, ain't that the truth? Just the blue paint. Kirk, no problem, man. I really try to make myself really available for everyone that supports the channel and subscribes, and that's really what I want to do is just be a big help to everybody. And you guys show me support. I love it, and I will keep doing content. So if you ever need anything, comment on any of the videos, hit me up on Instagram. I have a 60 Bros Facebook page as well. Oh, that's cool. Let's see here. I will say, I do think so. I mean, you guys know I did that degas bottle with Rhino Diesel Products. I really like that, and that's been really cool. 60 Bros before. That's funny. But I really lost my train of thought. I really couldn't even tell you what I was saying before then. I did that degas bottle with him, and it came out really good. I like it. I want to reach out to him when my white truck's back, because I want a degas bottle for my white truck, and we'll see. I haven't talked to him in a while. I'm not even sure how he's doing, but hopefully he's doing well. He was a very nice guy, and I liked the design that him and I came up with. I think it worked cool. Doom, thank you. $2,000 for an intercooler. I will tell you this, guys. One, because of Sinister's conduct in the past, I really have a hard time supporting them. Excuse me. Two, I refuse to pay that kind of money for an intercooler. There's so many other. BD Diesel has a nice one for like $1,100. Mishimoto has a pretty nice one for $1,100. Though Mishimoto seems to have fitment issues with all of their stuff. What else is there here? Hold on. We just thought Banks has a nice one. Spearcoat. Like there's a bunch of other expensive ones out there already. But the CSF 6028 is a tank. Works great. We're going to have to try that. Oh, that's cool. I'll check that out. Someone giving me some information on Forescan. Whatever just flew by me sounded rather large. Not sure how I feel about that. But you also, Robert, you know how we roll here. I do buy 3 and send me 1. Yeah, seriously. I mean, well, I think right now you can get the CSF 6028 for about $550 shipped. So you're working on number 4 by the time you get one of those intercoolers from Sinister. So I definitely, speaking of color matching stuff, I think on the 6.7, so 6.7's black. One of the next projects is there's some paint stuff I need to fix before winter. So that's something I need to really start working on soon. But what I want to do is I want to do some suspension parts and get them all powder coated, like something like a candy apple red, some places call it. And I want to do a 4-link on it. I'd like to get some other suspension stuff all powder coated as well. And then a piping kit under the hood in the same color. The coil springs I want to get powder coated. I think that has the heavier coil springs. I think I'm going to drop down to the standard coil springs from them because this had the snow prep package. So I need to look into that a little bit. But I think I might drop down to the coil springs one below them, get them powder coated and put them in. I think that'd be pretty cool to have that done. And of course, 4-link it would be super awesome to do. That's funny. I'll let that one go. Guys, let's easy on the cursing. YouTube frowns upon that kind of stuff. But that's funny. Let's see here. 436 shipped. Joe, is that the CSF 6028 or the 60, is it 13 or 18? OJ, doesn't offend me. I just try to keep it very clean. Mike brings up a good point. Kill Devil Diesel heads. Joe, where are you finding the 6028 for that price? Because I need to post that for people because people have been looking for that, and like lately 550 seems to be what everyone's come up with. Nomenclature. Jake, you know what is an excellent turbo to purchase? And I am saying that partially because I'm sponsored, but partially because I actually really believe in the product. Jake, you've been around before. I think you know that Turbo Time USA. I haven't dropped a link for them. turbotimeusa.com/60bros. I'll get you 5% off, is all I'm saying. I don't know why that one doesn't seem to pop up correctly. But no, seriously, if you are looking for one of their performance turbos, that's where I recommend. Hello, I have a 2006 60 that won't start. Has been to 2 diesel shops. Corn-fed diesel. That sounds like some real redneck stuff. ZZ Diesel. I've heard of ZZ Diesel. I don't know why, but I have heard of them. A Ford dealer, and they're only faulty standpipes. So, Austin, can you tell us? Oh, you were putting the KC versus PowerMax live stream. Yeah, no, that. And hey, I gotta tell you, I always try to be super honest about it. Well, let me say this, then we'll talk about turbos. Austin, if you can let me know what specifically is your truck doing? Like it won't start at all. Do you have a monitor to read high pressure oil pump and IPR or ICP and IPR for us to kind of help? Fresh batteries in there, your FICM voltage and FICM sync, cam sync are all things that'll cause that. Typically, it's one of like 5 or 6 things that are pretty easy to diagnose 9 times out of 10. But a faulty standpipe will cause you to have a no start. Jake, so the KC versus PowerMax live stream. I stand by this. I've always said this. The PowerMax is the most hated, valuable upgrade you can do to your truck. I think KC sells it for $11.50. Turbo Time sells it for $12.50. My discount code doesn't work on the PowerMax at Turbo Time, so I would definitely go that route. But a lot of guys talk bad about the PowerMax, and it's a good turbo, especially when you start considering the cost of it for an upgraded turbo compared to when you get into like custom turbos. Now, I will say the Turbo Time USA Stage 1, the 61 millimeter, while I'm not a huge 61 millimeter fan, I would have a hard time choosing between their 61 millimeter and a PowerMax turbo. That would be a toss-up for me. If that's the area I was looking at. I love my 66 millimeter, and I have an old style still. I need to actually get it updated to the current one that they have. Oh yeah, Jake. I do think because KC and Turbo Time do this, they start with 03 cores. So the 03 is slightly louder because of the vane design over the PowerMax. Has a slightly louder whistle than the PowerMax does. So they did pipes and dummy plugs. Now it won't start at all. It started as a hot no start. Yes, that's what everyone was puzzled because the monitor showed everything to be correct also. Austin, are you running tuned? And also, if you had a hot snow start, did they check the snap to connect fitting off of your pump? That would be my next place, because the snap to connect fitting fails all the time in those trucks. And there's an updated one out there now that should correct it, but something to be aware of. Oh, you're going to love that Android, OJ. I have, that's actually, we were talking about Forescan. Someone texted me about it. I definitely want to mess with that a little bit more. I like Forescan. It's very in-depth, and I have know this much about the entire topic, but they were sending me a good scan tool or a plug to hook up to it that lets you do a ton of stuff, because that's what I need. I need to be messing with things more, right? So, OJ, that is something coming in the future. Your Fickum also. Is 19 a little too much for an 07, 107,000 miles? Kyle, before I answer that, do you tow it? Like, what do you use your truck for? What injectors do you have? And do you tow it all? And if so, how heavy? Jake, 19 seems a little high, in my opinion, but it's hard because there's currently a truck shortage. Nobody can keep diesel trucks on their lots. So this is probably a bad time to buy, but if it is in good shape, and you just need to be aware that you could have to do head studs in the near future. Could it be perfectly fine? Sure, but just remember, you never know what that previous owner is going to do. So there's certain things then that you need to be aware of there. But I would definitely make sure to bring a monitor, take it for a long test drive, verify Fickum voltage from a cold. Like, don't let them start it up and have that truck warm for you. You want to check Fickum voltage and stuff while it's cold and all that stuff. Make sure to give it a thorough, I did some videos on that. Make sure to give it a thorough overview. Need to run more sensors. I can't get EGT and other things to show up. So OJ, on 6 liters, fuel pressure and exhaust gas temps are not sensors that are run through the PCM. They don't have a sensor for them. So there's, in fact, you have to drill and tap your own EGT probe on a 6.0, just like the 7.3. The 6.4 is the first year they had exhaust temp sensors because of the DPF system. And the fuel pressure is on 6.4s and 6.7s as well. So, but on that year, you'll have to do that yourself. Honestly, I'd hope it was never mentioned to me. Also was running EcoTune, getting 27, then boom, just wouldn't start one day trying to work. P.S. I'd rather it's safe for being 19. I don't beat on it. Well, Austin, that's good. I'm glad you're taking care of your truck. We can help get you figured out here. I think your problem is probably in the snap to connect fitting, but really it needs another air test is probably what they need to do to verify what's actually leaking. My guess would be a snap to connect fitting or something in like a FICM sync issue, a cam sync, or your batteries are hurting. So making sure your FICM voltage is there, your battery voltage is holding while cranking. It could also be a starter. Josh's starter, the braided wire on there started to fray away, giving him issues, not as a hot nose start, just starting issues in general. So those are kind of where I would start. It's 1,200 invested in my. Yeah, might notice the year. Looking at is bulletproof, studded, all that, and mine still has bolts. Oh, well, I mean, it sounds like it's a decent truck, Jake. We'll buy some BD manifolds with the Robert's onto something. I love my BD manifolds. They are super nice. Ninja, how do you like the AFE Blade Runners on them? They did look sharp. I looked at them. Have you seen the Kryptonite brand ball joints for the? No, I haven't, and I haven't. I was actually looking at a Movatech ball joints. They seem to have some pretty nice stuff. I was looking at probably using them for the next time I do ball joints on one of the trucks. Anyone ever see Blue King Ranch 6.0? Are they pretty rare? I've never seen a Blue King Ranch. I feel like I'm missing something here. Oh, here we go, Kyle. So 190 30s, tow a few times a year, 5 to 15. Wow. Wow, that's some weight. I would not go with the 366 then, man. That's a pretty big turbo all in all. Trust the Polt. So I would probably be looking, and I will be the first one to say I don't know. Like I know VGT turbos like the back of my hand. I don't know non-VGT super well, but that's probably a little on the big side for a VGT, especially because I don't think you'd have a lot of overhead with that turbo. I think that turbo is capable of more power. I'd probably be looking at like a 364, I believe, is one, because 15,000 is a lot of weight. Are you currently running a non-VGT, or just you're considering switching, or Kyle, what are you specifically looking for? Because there's several VGT turbos that are going to be an easier swap and be able to utilize that injector entirely without any drawbacks to it. There is a point where you just got to go to a non-VGT and power-wise, but 190 30s, KC Stage 2 would do it. My sponsor, Turbo Time USA, their Stage 2 64 millimeter turbo. Okay, so you already have a T4. Yeah, what size turbo are you running on it now, Kyle? And is there anything specific happening that your current turbo is doing that you're trying to get the next turbo to do? That's my boss, April. That's actually my boss. She normally leaves me semi-rude comments on here. Do you have super brakes to stop you with 15K? You know, I got to tell you, so I've never towed 15K. I've towed, I'm going to head out, y'all. Hey, Jake, have a good one, brother. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate the support. I've towed 13K. My camper's about 13 all loaded up. I had it on the scale once, and it wasn't bad braking, and I only have an 04. So I had smaller rotors, and that wasn't even using the Jake brake feature of the turbo. That was just the standard setup, just the transmission braking feature. So 15K, while is a lot of weight, can definitely be stopped, especially if you have like an 05 that has the bigger brakes. But even just throwing the Jake brake feature of the turbo one, like the 15s use, it's pretty easy. The 366, love it. Just want to see what your opinion is, how much power it might be making. I'd say you're around the 600 mark. If everything else is healthy, you have the fuel pressure and the supporting mods, transmission's holding up, you're probably making about 600 horsepower with that. I don't know how. I feel like a 366 is kind of big for towing 15K, but like I said, I don't really know the non-VGTs super well. But if I had to guess, I'd say you're in the high 500s. That turbo's capable of more, but you're probably running out of injector would be my guess. But I wouldn't go any bigger if you are already towing. If you're towing 15K ever with that setup. Guys, rebuild his turbo himself. So the white smoke from the turbo so the center bearing housing could be bad. He could have forgotten one of the oil seals in it, but if it wasn't doing that before, then most likely it's something in the turbo. I would quick run a scanner on it, make sure there's no injector codes or cylinder balance contribution codes in the background. But my guess is if that's the only thing he changed, turbo is most likely it, which you might be getting a wet exhaust. Like if your exhaust is wet with oil, that's a tail sign that the oil seals are bad and it's pushing oil out past the rings in the turbine shaft. But if he had that before and he thought it was that, he probably has an injector failing, especially if it idles relatively smooth and he's billowing white smoke, he probably has a bad injector. So tell him to check his codes, and that should leave him in there. Robert, I don't know. I don't think I've never seen a sticking VGT cause that. I'm not saying it can't. If the sticking VGT is causing it, it's only because it's spinning that wheel so fast that maybe it wore something out. I thought I was past the leaking coolant mystery. Guess not. Thanks again. Yeah, started and bleeded solid 350, but just started doing that. Okay, then like I said, if it wasn't doing it before, or I would run the codes. That's the best way to find out. If it's a cylinder contribution balance, that injector needs changed out. I do have some videos on that. Black smoke would be a lack of boost. So he's getting white smoke. So typically the only thing that causes that, I know a lot of guys want to go to coolant, but typically you wouldn't get that much getting pushed out in coolant. So I don't think that's your issue. There would have to be a lot of coolant. Like you'd have to have just a steady stream, not a drip or two. Like you would need a steady stream of coolant to cause that. Let's see here. Just pulling up some stuff, guys. So how has everybody, of the people in here, did you guys enjoy, what was this video? What did I actually call it? I can't remember what I called the video. That's bad. The Powerstroke tow build list. It's the one. Well, it's that one. If it shows it. What did you guys think of that video? It's actually not doing bad. It's over 1,000 views in 9 days. That's actually not doing too terrible for our channel. It's pretty exciting for me. So what do you guys think of that? Basically, my goal is to continue doing stuff like that with this build series, kind of go through 2, maybe 3 stages of tow build, and then kind of move on to doing like street build lists and starting to accompany horsepower numbers with those, and basically being able to say at this point, this is when, going into the full build, like when you hit this horsepower number, here's these things that aren't related to the engine making that power, but it can start to fail now because you're making that much. 99 million things to fix still, right, OJ? Yeah, Robert, when you check it out, let me leave a comment. Let me know what you think. It was something I kind of came up with recently. I get a lot of questions about builds, and I want to go back and include links to some of the products I talk about. And the stage 1 build really basic. I mean, it's nothing involved, but for most people, that's really all you need to do. It doesn't require crazy setups like some people think. So I kind of wanted to really harp on that in that video. No, Ninja, that's not that. So we did talk about that once with Josh. Yeah, we did have his. I will say that video, the stage 1 video I made, was kind of some foreshadowing on plans that I have for his truck. The big challenge is the big challenge is really continuing to save to get my truck back, because when I have my truck back, I can always make 6-liter content, and that's what I want to do. Now, when Josh's truck is definitely a different direction, but with that, it's kind of trying to prioritize what gets you guys the most content in the end. Yeah, Mike, that would be cool. I don't know that I'd have the resources to verify each one. I mean, I will say this. I won't say anything that hasn't been proven before. I will say that. Oh, Kyle, excellent suggestion, man. The 6.4 transmission filter is vastly superior. You do need to switch to a deeper pan. You can do a factory 6.4 pan. I do recommend getting a cast aluminum pan, though, instead. One of the deep dish pans for that, because it'll help provide rigidity to the case of your transmission, which will prevent with torsional flexion, I believe is the word. Basically, here's the front of the transmission, here's the rear, and as that torque's coming through, the front's coming this way and the rear's going this way. Obviously not that far, but that is what causes the 3 to 5 shift flare down the road. Whew, my voice. Trying to get this thing not to make me orange. Oh well. It's fine. I will accept it out here because it's kind of a weird setup. But no, OJ, I think you're on the right track, man. Yeah, Ninja, let me know what those dyno numbers are. So basically, I will say I feel pretty confident in what I'm going to say to about 550 horsepower. After that, I'm hoping to, I mean, even out to 600. Basically, the next step for my 6-liter when it's back is 600 horsepower is the next goal. So we will down the road verify that at the track. We might do some dyno stuff with it when it's back, but we'll kind of get into that more. But then down the road, I'd like to go even further. But I will say 600 horsepower is really where a lot of guys' cutoff is on 6 liters. and the vast majority are just looking for good tow builds. That's kind of what made me start at the tow build. But we do plan to go into street builds as well, and kind of things, you'll see things compound on top of each other. So I'm glad to hear you guys enjoyed those videos, and definitely be cool to keep them coming for you guys. So I'm glad to hear that. I'm having my custom. Yeah, I read that one. Oh, it just made me remember what would cause if roads are wet and I spin tires. It will confuse the transmission and like shift into neutral until let up and hit throttle again. I can't say I've ever had that happen in my 6-liter, and I haven't really heard of it. I want to say you might have Joe, what I would recommend for you is check your transmission fluid and get some fresh fluid in there. Don't flush it. Drop your pan, clean it, put it back on with a 6.4 filter. Get a deep pan for your 6.0. And get the 6.4 filter, get a deep pan so the filter actually fits, and get some fresh fluid, and that should help a good bit with that. Jay, welcome back. It's a Mia. No, I did not lock myself out of the house. The normal spot is being used for schoolwork, which takes priority over my YouTube stuff. So, that's not a complaint. That's facts. That's much more important than me doing YouTube. So I thought I'd come outside and do this. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. It's a little bit of a change of scenery for a change. Jay, yeah, we're still in here, going at it. Sorry, there's just some funny things that got sent to me. I apologize. Oh, good. Nick's still in here. Nick, I thought you left us. Maybe you did. Maybe you're back. Guys, if you haven't already hit that like button, hit that like button. We're trying to get that up as high as we can. Carlisle is actually pretty close to me. When is Ford Nationals? Does anyone know when Ford Nationals is? If not, can we find that? I don't know why I told you guys to find it when I just pulled it up. So it was June 5th through the 7th. Did they do it this year? Did they even do Ford Nationals this year, Guy? I think he ordered more parts in the Pulse. I'll let him in. No, I'm not in any trouble, guys. That's funny. I mean, hold on. Let me see. The door does open. I'm not locked out. Doom, yes, it is. That's fine. How does the 6.4 transmission work? So, Jay, what really all you have to do is drop the pan, and the 6.4 filter fits. It's a high flow filter, so it does most of the filtering on the 6.4s, but you do need a deeper pan. So either one of the deep pans for the 6.0 or the 6.4 transmission pan, and everything else is the same. But it's a better filter setup for your truck. Yep, Ninja, you're right. The pan needs changed as well. So yeah, no, maybe that's something we could do. Maybe I mean, I don't know if you can you put a truck in at Ford Nationals? Is that a thing? Diesel trucks there? I feel like it's not. Maybe we need to make it a thing. I would love if there was a local car show by me, and I will say now I have at my job, I'm currently Monday through Friday. I don't know if I will get to keep that, but if I get to keep that, I definitely need to put that on my list of places to go check out next year. Oh, excuse me. Dinner is giving me some indigestion. Oh, This has been a good live stream, guys. This has been a fun one, especially when I couldn't keep up. That was a lot of that was fun trying to get caught back up in the comment section. Out on the porch is better than mom's basement. This is a cool setting out here, I will say. I hope I'm not irritating my neighbors too much. I'm trying to keep it down. But this is definitely a cool little area. So I am enjoying it. Hunt Valley Ford Nationals is next year. Hunt Valley's Cars and Coffee. When's Hunt Valley's Cars and Coffee? It looks like Twitter. Jay, I would definitely replace that one. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up. I would definitely replace that one, Jay, just because it is part there, but mainly the other one's the one that is the most important one. The other one even has a bypass valve in it when your temps are if it gets clogged. But I would recommend replacing both just because it's there. SMB or Sinister. So SMB is one of my favorite intakes. If you have a upgraded turbo, though, you want to make sure you run the top plastic part or off. Talking weird. Off of it, or get like one of the all metal intakes that has an open element, like No Limit. Who also uses AFE and SMB filters are the best in my opinion. That's who I recommend. Please be aware they do require more maintenance than the factory setup, but I have aftermarket intakes all the time. I'm going to put one on the 6.7 soon. So be aware you would need to either run the SMB with the plastic off to flow enough air for an aftermarket turbo, or go to like a No Limit or one of the other all metal ones. Sinister's overpriced, in my opinion. I have a hard time buying their products. And I think I have an intake video. If you look up 6.0 Powerstroke intakes or something like that, it does come up as one of my videos. And I have links to some of the stuff I like in there. It's a good watch if you're looking at intakes, because it does kind of go pretty in depth on some of the stuff. Yeah, Jay, I don't want you getting divorced over your truck. I at least get to tell people. See, this is one of the nice things about YouTube is anybody that gives me crap about modifying my truck and be like, it's my second job. It supports itself. It doesn't completely support itself, truth be told. Hunt Valley every Saturday morning. Well, you know what? I think I can make it to one of them. Where is I'm trying. I think you're the one that's close to me, right? Hunt Valley Cars and Coffee. Is it off horsepowering.com? And there's a Chick-fil-A. Problem solved. I'm in. I love Chick-fil-A. It's amazing. Every Saturday from 8 a.m. Location, Hunt Valley Town. You Maryland subscribers. Let's find out where this place is. Sorry, this is the boring part of the live stream, guys. Me finding out if I'm going to be able to make this happen. Find out how far of a trip it is, and I think I can make this happen as long as it's not crazy far. It would be the black truck right now. It would not be the 6L. It's only a little over an hour away. That might be more of a winter time thing, or maybe late October, early November. I might be able to get in there. So, but no, I just moved from Baltimore to Florida. feel like I got lost behind. Mongoose, is that one you used to go to all the time though before you moved? I'm not running aftermarket brakes. I've run power stop pads and rotors on my white truck. I really liked them. This truck is pretty much a factory setup. I'll probably do aftermarket rear brakes because I need to do them soon. Sorry guys. That is actually YouTube related. It's somebody I've been working with to try to help get their truck back on the road. I would like to try SSBC for different calipers that look pretty cool. That would give better braking. Willwood setup is too pricey in my book. Well, Jay, you have a good night, brother. Thanks for stopping in. I wish you well. Your money pit. Replace passenger side glow plugs and harness. Driver side won't come out without breaking. Any ideas why? Sometimes those harnesses are just kind of known for breaking, man. That's really all there is to it. It's not that you're doing anything wrong, just they typically break. Make sure to have a good removal tool. I've heard of guys using wire and being more successful, but yeah, no, those things are a pain in the butt, brother. I don't really have any advice. I know some guys prefer to go at them from the wheel well. I know some guys that like them like to go up top because they say they basically take one or two things off and they can get to it. But no, they are a pain, brother. Doom, those Willwood brake kits look awesome. I just really struggle with the price. I really, really struggle with the price of them. So guys, we do have to cut this one a little short. So we're going to try to start stopping at about 2:30 or at 2 hours and 30 minutes. So if you have questions, let's get them asked so I can help them. But 2:30, or at 2 hours and 30 minutes, we're going to really slow down and probably start getting ready to head out because I will say this has been a lot of fun. And this was a big live stream. We hit a record number of people in at one time by a good margin. I couldn't even remotely keep up with the chat at one point, which was really cool. Typically, I get a little behind, but I can keep up with the chat, and I couldn't. So that was really cool to see that today. That was fun for me. I hope you guys have enjoyed that. How do I get a 6.0 Bro sticker? So right now, I do not have stickers available. At the Teespring site, there are a bunch of different T-shirts. Amazon has, I have an Amazon link in the description as well. They have some stuff. The Teespring site has the majority of stuff, and that's kind of where I'll just black in my truck. I want to say King Ranches may have had white gauges. I think some trucks had white gauges. Excuse me. Pickle, though, I do have plans in the future to start doing the getting decals out to people. I'm just looking into how to do it. I'm just not there yet. A black light so you glow. Next live chat. That'll be a way to get people in, maybe. Take a picture of me under under a white light or a black light. The wheel was my excursion at 37. Yeah, no, I really liked my power stops. I thought they were an improvement. I mean, the Willwood kit is definitely going to be an improvement if you route, but you'll need to switch to 20-inch wheels. I think it's at least 20-inch wheels to fit them. Granted, a 20-inch wheel on a 37-inch tire looks pretty sharp in my opinion. OJ, yeah, no, you definitely got an oddball truck out there. I like the paint to match door handles. I started doing that on my truck, then some of them broke, so I got to get a nicer setup than I had on it. It's a little frustrating to deal with, but we'll get that done at some point. Well, obviously, I need the truck back first. That'll probably be the first thing that happens when the truck comes back is new door handles that aren't broken. It was super annoying when that crap happened. But we're gonna make that. I think the paint to match door handles look super awesome. I liked them, so we're gonna definitely go back to that. I will say that. Yeah, the power stop ones have been super. I will say I was super impressed with them and how well they worked without having to change a bunch of stuff over. Now, I also, on my 6-liter, I have stainless braided lines. I think that also helps, but I never really had stopping issues. I just wanted the braided lines on there, so I would recommend it. I do plan to probably do that on this truck too. I just need to kind of wait for some stuff. That'll probably be a next year thing. I think this one caliper is freed up. It was sticking. Oh, I didn't release that video. That's funny. So this is going to be one of the next videos that comes out. Basically, it was something similar to what I was doing. It's basically more of a vlog of just my day messing with the truck. It wasn't anything fancy or anything like that. I have the Russell kit on my 6-liter as well. Nice kit. Oh, yeah. The calipers are just rebuilt OE ones. They're not upgraded. But they are nice. I mean, I'm running in the rear advanced auto and on the front Ford. And the only reason I did advanced in the back is because I couldn't get them. And advanced is okay. I've had some back and forth with reliability with them. But I completely forget what I was talking about. Oh, yeah, the video. So this video I did was kind of me just kind of going over my day. I'd re-grease slider pins, and I'd put windshield wipers on, and my gas door doesn't shut all the way, so I took that off, and I was just checking that out. So it's kind of a real random video, and I kind of wanted to try to mess with some videos like that for people just to see if you guys like it. If you guys don't like them, I'll stop doing them. But if you guys do like videos like that, I'll keep doing it. But I will do the very specific videos. We need to get into some cosmetic stuff for the black truck because it needs to look nice, and currently it doesn't. It doesn't look bad, but there's some things that can look nicer on them. Doom, I agree with you. I wish they offered it like black. Black would be really cool. Ninja, the rough country braided lines look nice too. I did look at them. I did like the Russell kit was like the most at the time. I mean, I bought this a while ago. I mean, probably like 6 years ago now. Was the most overall affordable quality kit I could find. So I did really like them. Never bought anything new. I build everything. Yeah, I gotta tell you guys, I've never owned anything. This is the newest. The 15 is the newest truck I've ever owned. To which that truck does have a timeline on the channel for when it's going to go away. The white truck does not have a timeline. The white truck will never go away. My 6-liter I'll keep forever, but the black truck does. And I will say, when I'm getting close to that time, we have a lot to do with that black truck. So it's got some time on the channel, but there will come a time where we get rid of it and we start a new project. It will still be a Ford, and it'll probably be another 6.7. I'm just not sure what year it'll be. So, but that's a couple years off yet, probably 2 years off yet. So, and who knows what could happen in 2 years? Maybe at that point I start doing dumb stuff with that and start a new project at the same time. Really depends how amazing the channel is or is not doing. So, hey, just FYI, if anyone wants to upgrade steering wheel, upgrade to a Lincoln Blackwood steering wheel. Super nice, direct swap. Huh. Let me look this up. Robert, when this live stream is over, can you message me a link to anything like this or where I can buy it? Because I would like to do a new steering wheel in my 6.0, and I would like to actually do a new steering wheel in my 6.7 because it's kind of beat up. I'd like to replace the part that's beat up so it looks nice again. But anyway, guys, I want to thank everybody. If you haven't already, though, hit that like button. If you haven't, definitely subscribe, guys. Check out the links for merch. Appreciate all the support. It's been an awesome day, and guys, thank you so much. I hope everyone has a great night and a good week. Video will be coming soon again for random stuff I did, and we're just gonna keep cranking out videos, guys. Part 2 to the tow build coming probably next week, if I had to guess. That video will probably get done next week. We'll see. It really depends how productive of a week I have, guys. Hey, Doom, no problem, man. I've been trying to pick a topic for each one of these live streams to kind of default to if there's any dead time in the chat, and kind of give a topic. So we'll continue to do that. Tuning was a good one. Maybe injectors next time. Maybe go back to turbos. Maybe transmissions. We'll see. But we will continue to do that, guys. Thank you again. Hope everyone has a good night. I'll see you guys in the next upload. And again, thank you for all the support. I really can't thank you all enough for it. So good night, guys.